My name is Andy, and this is the most magical podcast on Earth. When I'm not on holiday at Walt Disney World, I'm planning a holiday to Disney. And when I'm not planning a holiday to Disney, I'm talking about Disney with other UK fans like me who make the trip to Orlando and the House of the Mouse. So if you too are mad about Mickey, then this is the podcast for you. Or maybe you're the Disney novice just thinking about or currently in the planning stages of your first ever Walt Disney World holiday and you think that Big Thunder Mountain was a wrestler from the 80s, then this really is the podcast for you. Every Friday we have regular podcasts chatting to other Disney superfans from around the UK, sharing their memories, sharing their top tips. We also answer your Walt Disney World questions, get the latest news from the parks. But this is a top 5 special. On this episode, the top 5 things to do at Animal Kingdom. We are the most magical podcast on Earth as part of the Secret Recordings Network with our top 5 Animal Kingdom special. Now, Animal Kingdom is probably the newest of the Disney theme parks and definitely the most immersive. And in fact, it's also the biggest. Not only is it a theme park with rides, attractions, shows, amazing food, it's also a zoo and a safari park, although cleverly disguised. You wouldn't really know. That's how intense the theming is. So here are my top 5 things that I really think you should be doing at Walt Disney World's Animal Kingdom. At number 5 is Festival of the Lion King. Now, this is one of the most incredible shows you will see at Walt Disney World. It's a show that's performed over half a dozen times a day in a wonderful air-conditioned theatre in the round. All the action happens in the middle where you'll see your favourite characters from The Lion King, but also the performers are incredible. You've got singers who are like Broadway quality vocals and also acrobats. It's very much Lion King meets Cirque du Soleil. Quite a short 20-25 minute show. They do seem to manage to get all the songs from the film in this 20-25 minute show whilst tumble monkeys are jumping up and down and there's people eating fire. It's a really emotional show as well. I do quite often cry because there is a moment where people can come out of the audience and dance, and it's just breathtaking. So if you are at Animal Kingdom, make sure you've got your fast pass for Festival of the Lion King. At number 4 is Tuska House, which is actually a restaurant next door to the theatre where they perform Festival of the Lion King. Now, there are quite a lot of restaurants in Walt Disney World where you can meet characters. Chef Mickey is very popular and hard to get a ticket for, but I think one of the best ones where you'll meet pretty much near enough the same characters you'll meet in Chef Mickey's is Tuska House. So this is a buffet restaurant. As it's Animal Kingdom, there are African and Asian-inspired restaurants throughout. This is an African-inspired buffet. You will get things that you might not be familiar with, like boba tea. I don't know what that is, and various different peri-peri flavours and things like that, which is great if you've got a bit of an adventurous palate. And it's great to try new food. It's a great way of doing that. But if you've not got a very tasteful palate, you're not that adventurous, it doesn't matter because they'll still have your regular food. And if in doubt, do what I do, eat from the kids' buffet. There's always fries and mac and cheese and hot dogs that you can go for. The great thing about this restaurant, again, with most things at Animal Kingdom theme park, is the theming. Not just with the food, which is kind of a theme in itself with the African-inspired food, also the decor in there. It's like you're eating around like a market or where the food is laid out. It's like at little stalls. And also the characters, when you meet them, they're all dressed like they're going on safari. So you've got Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Daisy and Goofy, all in their little safari outfits. It's so cute. Now, here's a couple of top tips if you're going to Tuska House. And I really do think this is one of the best character restaurants in Walt Disney World. Firstly, if you go into a character restaurant, you're meeting those 5 characters without queuing to see them. If you've met them before, you're meeting them in different outfits, which is always a bonus. If you are on the dining plan, if you've got the free dining plan, then make sure you book on the Rivers of Light dining package. Now, Rivers of Light is an evening show set around a lake. It's a show that's not made it into my top 5 for this. It's a show worth seeing, but it's not in my top 5. But they do a dining package which will get you reserved seats for the show at the end of the day. So you're getting to eat your food, you're getting to meet the characters, and you are getting a show as well. All that for 1 dining credit. Now remember too, if you're on the dining plan and you go to a buffet, if you're on the dining plan, this is only for the dining plan. Your dining plan includes your food and a drink, which could be an alcoholic drink. If you go to a buffet, It's food and drink included. So make sure if you are on the dining plan, you have your buffet and then you can have your tea, coffee, soft drinks, but make sure you get an alcoholic drink as well. Even if you go with a person who doesn't want one, if they can have one, you have one and you drink theirs. So, have a mimosa and everything else. It's included. If you're paying out of pocket, you're probably better going to breakfast when it's a little bit cheaper. If you go to the end of the breakfast serving, so if you can get in about 10:30 and you stay around long enough, you will then also get the lunch food as well, which is obviously a higher price, but you're still paying for the breakfast price. So number 4 on my top 5 things to do at Disney's Animal Kingdom is go for food at Tuska House. Number 3 is Everest. Now, you can't miss Everest. As soon as you walk into Disney's Animal Kingdom, you'll see it. It's Mount Everest. And it's also a ride, and it just also happens to be my favourite ride, probably in the whole of Walt Disney World. It's the fastest and most thrilling white knuckle ride that they've got in any of the theme parks. And there's a little moment on the ride that always takes my breath away. My stomach turns inside out. I always know which bit it's coming to. I always know it's going to happen. And even if I'm ready for it, it still turns my stomach upside down, and I absolutely love it. What I love about this ride, it's not just a roller coaster. Again, it's the theming, and it tells a story. You're not just on a roller coaster. You're on a train that's taking you through the Himalayas, and you might see a Yeti, and you're like a backpacker, and you'll see remnants of other backpackers. Oh, another good thing to look at as well when it comes to theming is not just on a ride. It's in the queue. The way that everything is designed, it's like you are walking through the Himalayas. In fact, the Imagineers who designed the ride way back when, they went on an expedition to the Himalayas just to make sure that everything looked really authentic. If you're on Instagram, there's a guy called Joe Rohde who is a bit of a legend when it comes to designing Walt Disney World attractions. He's on Instagram. He's got pictures of the ride, of the Everest ride, also pictures of when they did the expedition, when they were setting up and researching for this. And there is not a lot of difference between that. So make sure you enjoy the ride. Obviously, if you've got little kiddos, there's height restrictions, so they probably can't go on it. If they can go on it and they've not been on a big scary roller coaster, maybe it's not good for a first one because, as I say, it does take your stomach and take your breath a little bit. Another top tip for this ride, if you're going at night, if you can time it to when the fireworks are on at Epcot, you might get to see them at the very top of the ride. There is a little bit of a twist to this ride that I don't want to ruin if you've not been on it before, because there's something different that happens on this ride that doesn't happen with a lot of roller coasters, but it is well worth it. It's my favourite ride in the whole of Walt Disney World, but it has only made it to number 3 in my chart. And you'll find out why when we get to number 1. Don't forget, if you don't agree with my top 5, by the way, if you've got any other suggestions or any of the top tips, you can get in touch. We are on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Podmagical. Number 2 on my list of the top 5 things to do at Walt Disney World's Animal Kingdom is see the animals. Now, I know that you think, well, Animal Kingdom, surely that would be obvious, Andy. It's funny, a lot of people will go to Animal Kingdom and not see any animals. Now, there are 3 big attractions here where you can see animals. The first is the one that most people will think of doing, and that is Kilimanjaro Safaris. Now, this is quite a long attraction, actually, a good half an hour, where you board an open-air vehicle and you take a guided tour of the African savannah where live animals are just walking around. It's basically a massive safari park. Now, the size of the savannah at Animal Kingdom is the same size as Magic Kingdom. So that's how big it is. You get on your little truck. The people who take you around are incredible. They know everything about all the animals. You can see buffalo and giraffe really up close and personal. And of course, any height, any age, get on, have a look round, go and see the animals. Now, a lot of people do Kilimanjaro Safaris. It's worth getting a fast pass for. The other 2 attractions where you can also see animals are walk-through attractions. So you don't need a fast pass. You don't need to get in line. You can do it whenever you want. If you've got a couple of hours, if you're feeling like having a bit of a lazy day. 2 attractions you can walk through. They are the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail, again, where you just walk through and obviously see gorillas. And the other one is the Maharaja Jungle Trek, which is one of my favourite things to do. You can spend a good hour walking through here. Again, you can take the little ones. If they're in the buggy, you can push them through. If you've got somebody in a wheelchair, you can push them through. There's gibbons and there's water buffalo and there's loads of birds. But it's the way that it is designed. So in a nutshell, it is a zoo, but it's like you're walking through ruins of an old temple. The way that the thing is designed is just incredible. So you don't feel like you're looking at animals in a zoo. It feels like they're looking at you walking through their land. It's incredible. My number 2 thing to do at Animal Kingdom. Sounds bizarre, but see animals. After all, it's their kingdom. Number 1 on my top 5. Now, I don't think this will come as a surprise. If you are a fan of Walt Disney World, if you've been a few times, if you've done your research, there is one ride in the whole of Walt Disney World that is still getting queues longer than any other attraction, and that is Avatar Flight of Passage. It's been a few years since they opened Pandora, which is the Avatar area of Animal Kingdom. There are only 2 attractions in there. There's Flight of Passage and there's the Navi River Journey. Navi River Journey, very sweet. Do it if you can. But Flight of Passage is just incredible. Again, this has got a height restriction if you've got little ones, 44 inches. I don't think it's very frightening for kids. I think it is a magical thing to do. Basically, you climb on board a Banshee, you sit on a Banshee and you fly. It's a 3D flight simulator in a nutshell. Through Pandora, through the caves, over the ocean. You will literally feel like you're flying. You can actually feel the animal breathe between your thighs. It is incredible, and it's probably why it can get queues of 3 or 4 hours. So if there is one thing that you should be doing when your Fast Pass window, if you're staying at Walt Disney World, your Fast Pass window will open 60 days before you go, or if you're not, it'll still be 30 days before you go if you've got your ticket. The one attraction you should aim for, and you might have to wait a week in your Fast Pass window to do this. Day 1, the Fast Passes might have gone already, but make sure you got your Fast Pass at least once. Actually, no. At least 2 Fast Passes. You want to do this twice. Avatar Flight of Passage is number 1 on my list of top 5 things to do at Walt Disney World's Animal Kingdom. Top 5 again, Festival of the Lion King. At number 4, eat at Tuska House. Number 3, Everest. At number 2, see some animals. And number 1 is do Flight of Passage. That is my top 5. Am I right? Am I wrong? Probably wrong. There's probably something I've missed out. I could do a top 10. I could do a top 20 for Animal Kingdom. It's just incredible theme, and it's just great to walk through. And if you have got your Fast Pass for any of the Avatar attractions, get there when the park first opens. And when everybody turns left, when everybody rushes for the Avatar attractions, turn right. Do some of the attractions over at Dino Land, where it'll be pretty quiet first thing in the morning, but it'll get busy later on. So do them while there are no queues and save your Fast Passes for later on. Do you agree? Have you got favourite things to do at Animal Kingdom that I've not mentioned? Then, of course, you can always drop me a message. We are Pod Magical on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Same place to go if you fancy being on the podcast one week. I'd love to chat to you. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. Until next time, have a magical day. And please, stand clear of the doors.